On this course, students will receive workshops in the primary elements of storytelling: character, plot, setting, theme, form, and style. They will write short stories, texts, works of fiction in different forms, developing creative skills with the language. Who is this course for? This course is for writers. An author is a published writer. A writer is somebody who writes. Not everybody can be an author, but anybody can be a writer. Therefore, this course is for everybody who wishes to create artistic works with the medium. Imagining characters, theme and plot-centered works, working with imagery and metaphor, creating rhythm in language and poetry, is one of the most pleasurable disciplines that exists. Do not wait until you have published a book before you claim the identity of a writer. That identity is not given to you. You have to claim it. So just to give you a brief overview of the course content. Anything which connects you to the unconscious is useful for creativity. So many of the methods that we do aim at getting you to create intuitively and spontaneously from the unconscious. For example, in the first week we do the meditation Antamauna, which involves listening to the sounds, getting into a detached state, then observing the spontaneous activity of the mind, getting into an even further detached state, and then giving the mind a theme, and observing the mind at work, and then you write. In the same class, we introduced the idea of creating from the shadow, the dark part of the psyche, in the Jungian sense. In the second week, we do the archetypes of the hero's journey: the meeting with the mentor, the call to adventure, the crossing of the first threshold, the ordinary world, refusal of the call, and the belly of the whale. I will present the archetype to you, and you will write within it. We also do some work on the creation of metaphors, connection between riddle and metaphor, and creating theme-centered imagery. We use the archetypes of the tarot in the same way that we used the archetypes of the hero's journey, as empty frames which are filled by the unconscious. And we use the archetypes of the zodiac in the same way: the 12 houses, the 7 planets, seeing in them a system of categories and universals, and a classical system of personality types. The writings of Carl Jung have had a profound influence on the course, and we use the Jungian psychological types, introverted and extroverted, thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition types, as the starting point of getting into the consciousness of a character. And we do some very technical work on meter, poetic meter, looking at alliterative meter, and then a dragon was drawn from the darkness. You can hear the triple D sound. Looking at Beowulf and Tolkien as examples of alliterative meter in prose and poetry. We also do work on iambic meter, looking at Shakespeare and Milton as samples, studying the great masters, seeing what they do, and then doing the same thing. A good example of iambic meter would be of man's first disobedience and the fruit of that forbidden tree whose mortal task brought death into the world and all our woe. You can hear the meter there pretty easily. So yes, we do a lot of different methods. But what you will really learn on the course is to create without expectation. To create without evaluating or judging too much, which doesn't serve you in the early stages of the creative process. There is a time for evaluating and critical thinking, and it's much later when you have a large body of material and you want to know what fits together. So by the end of the course, you will have a disciplined writing practice and a large body of work. But more than any one method, you will cultivate a particular attitude to the creative process. And you will cultivate that attitude by being here.